This law flips everything. Play a sucker to catch a sucker. Let them think they're smarter. Let them feel in control. And while they relax, you move.
It sounds manipulative, but the truth is, people need to feel smarter than you. It soothes their ego, and when their ego is satisfied, their guard goes down.
Power isn't always about dominance. Sometimes it's about disarming. And nothing disarms faster than perceived superiority. Make them underestimate you, and you get freedom to act.
Because when you seem like a threat, they watch you, they calculate. But when you seem harmless, they talk too much, show too much, drop their strategy on the table thinking you won't notice.
That's the trap. You're not actually weak. You're just acting slower, less ambitious, less strategic. Meanwhile, you're gathering data, positioning, preparing.
It's an old rule. In poker, in war, in negotiation, the winner is rarely the loudest. It's the one who watches, listens, plays dumb until the moment to strike is perfect.
Look at history. Talleyrand, the great French diplomat, played the fool constantly, let people underestimate him. But behind that calm, clumsy mask, he was pulling the strings of European politics for decades.
Because when you appear less intelligent, people overexpose themselves. They think they're in control. They stop being careful. And that's when you learn what they really want.
But here's the danger. Your ego. You want to be seen as smart, as capable. You want recognition. That's where most people fail. They need validation more than they want power.
So they reveal their sharpness too early. They correct people, show off, try to dominate the room. And in doing so, they wake up the defenses of everyone watching.
This law demands patience, discipline, the ability to sacrifice short-term praise for long-term position. You let them shine while you build leverage in silence.
And when the moment's right, you flip the script. You make the move they never saw coming because they were too busy underestimating you. Here's the part no one likes to admit. Most people would rather feel smart than be safe. They'll lower their defenses if it means they get to feel superior for just a second.
That's the core of this law. You don't win by overpowering someone, you win by letting their ego do the work for you. They underestimate you, and suddenly you become the one with the advantage.
And the scary part? Most people offer that vulnerability without being asked. You give them one opening, one moment where they feel smarter, more informed, more in control, and they reveal everything.
Because they want to teach you, they want to correct you, they want to be the expert. And in doing that, they give up their hand.
That's where the real game begins. You let them explain their playbook. You let them walk you through their strategy, thinking you're still trying to catch up. But really, you're collecting leverage.
The smartest people I've seen in business, politics, even negotiation rooms, they rarely dominate the conversation. They ask, they nod, they absorb, and when they finally speak, it's surgical.
Because the loudest person in the room might feel powerful, but the quiet one is calculating. And if that quiet person has learned how to play dumb strategically, they become invisible until they're unstoppable.
And that invisibility is key. When you don't appear threatening, people stop treating you like competition. They don't prepare for your moves. They don't defend against you. They're too busy watching each other.
You become the observer, the one who knows more than they show. And in a game driven by perception, that's power.
But again, it's hard. Because we're trained to perform intelligence, to prove ourselves, especially in competitive environments. You want them to know you're smart.
That's where ego ruins strategy. The need to be acknowledged will always cost more than it's worth. Because when you need recognition, you give away control.
And that control, the ability to remain underestimated, is your camouflage. It protects your timing, your access, your leverage.
So don't chase the applause. Let them believe what they want. While they celebrate their brilliance, you build your position in the shadows.
Let's bring this into everyday moves. Meetings, deals, even casual conversations. If you walk in trying to prove you're the smartest, you're already working against yourself.
Because the moment people sense you're trying to dominate intellectually, they shift, they protect, they compete. But if you appear to be figuring it out as you go, they relax.
And that relaxation is opportunity. Suddenly, they're generous with information. They fill in blanks you didn't even ask about because they think they're helping, not realizing they're exposing themselves.
It's wild how often people will correct you not to protect themselves, but to perform intelligence. They want to shine. They want to be the one who gets it. And you just keep listening.
I've seen people close six-figure deals by simply misunderstanding something on purpose. The other side stepped in to explain, and in doing so, revealed what they weren't supposed to.
Because when someone thinks they're teaching you, they lower the mask. They go from guarded to generous. And generous people are easier to navigate.
It's not deception, it's design. You're not lying, you're curating how you appear. You're making a choice about when and how much of your sharpness to reveal.
And you can dial it up or down. In high-power rooms, being overly polished can trigger competition. But showing a little confusion, a little naivety, suddenly you're no longer a threat. You're a student.
And people love to teach, especially people with big egos. They thrive on being the authority. And as they teach, they tell you what they fear, what they value, where they're aiming.
All of that is intel. You're mapping the landscape without ever revealing your own destination. That's elite-level positioning.
And here's the paradox. The person who seems slow often ends up being the one who closes, because they weren't rushing, they were reading.
We live in a world obsessed with speed, but power respects patience. The one who moves last, but moves with clarity, is the one who tends to control the final outcome.
So next time you're in the room, ask yourself, do I need to show what I know right now? Or is this a moment to let them reveal themselves first?
Because sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is wait.
But here's the warning. This law, like most in the book, cuts both ways. If you fake ignorance without intention, you don't look strategic. You just look weak.
Exactly. There's a difference between appearing harmless and appearing clueless. This isn't about lowering your standards, it's about managing perception on purpose.
You still have to control the frame. You can't lose the room. You're not actually surrendering intelligence, you're masking it, just enough to open doors.
Timing is everything. If you play dumb too long, they write you off. If you show your cards too early, you lose the advantage. The art is knowing when to pivot from passive to precise.
It's a subtle flip. 1 minute, you're asking questions like you're unsure. The next, you're offering insight that reframes the entire situation. That's what leaves people stunned. They never saw it coming.
But if you're not emotionally grounded, this strategy backfires. Because pretending to be underestimated requires discipline. You have to let people talk down to you. You have to smile through condensation.
And that's where most people fold. They can't take the ego hit. They want to prove themselves. And by doing that, they give up the entire advantage.
You have to detach from needing recognition, from needing to be the smartest person in the room. You have to let others win, so they relax, so they stop guarding their position.
It's like chess. You sacrifice a piece not because you're weak, but because you're setting up the checkmate. That's what this law is, controlled sacrifice for strategic gain.
And if done well, it creates confusion. You're underestimated just long enough to make your move. And once you do, the people who thought they had you figured out don't even know how to respond.
Because they weren't watching you. They were watching a version of you that you allowed them to see. That's the power of illusion. It gives you space to design the outcome.
But again, don't play with this if you can't handle being ignored, dismissed, or underestimated, because that will happen, and you have to stay calm, even when your pride wants to fight back.
This law is quiet warfare, and if you rush it, if you let your ego leak into the room, you lose the element of surprise, and with it, the power.
Let's talk about elite spaces. High finance, politics, elite negotiations. You'd be surprised how often the most influential person in the room is the one who says the least or asks the dumbest question.
That's no accident. It's calibration. These people know the moment they reveal their full intelligence, the dynamic shifts. So they sit back. They let everyone else posture. They let the egos clash.
And while that noise is happening, they're gathering, listening, spotting contradictions, mapping power structures. And then, when the dust settles, they ask the question that slices everything open.
It's masterful, because when you enter as non-threatening, you're invisible to defense mechanisms. No one guards against you. No one studies your moves. That invisibility becomes strategic advantage.
But here's what separates amateurs from masters. The masters choose when to be underestimated. They control it. It's not a default, it's a weapon.
And they don't overuse it. If you always play the fool, people start to believe you are one. So the reveal, when it happens, has to be sharp, memorable, just enough to shift the balance.
That contrast creates power. Going from underestimated to undeniable in one move makes people rethink everything about you. And now they respect you differently.
But if you come in guns blazing, showing how smart, sharp, and capable you are right away, you activate every insecurity in the room. Now they're watching you, guarding themselves, closing off.
That's the trap. You win the room's attention but lose its access because now you're a threat, and threats don't get invited back in.
And that's what makes this law feel unfair, because you are smart, you do see the game, but the most powerful move is not proving it, it's withholding it until the exact moment it serves you.
Delayed power hits harder. You let others speak, lead, direct, and then you shift the whole strategy with one precise insight. That's not just intelligence, that's dominance disguised as deference.
It's hard to do. It feels unnatural, but that's why it works, because most people aren't willing to wait. They'd rather look smart now than win later.
And the person who's willing to wait, who can play the fool long enough to make others drop their guard, that person doesn't just win the moment, they win the game.
So let's land this. Power isn't just about how smart you are. It's about how invisible your intelligence is, until it needs to strike.
Exactly. The ego wants credit. It wants applause. But strategy wants results. And that's what this law gives you. Quiet, sustained, long game results.
People will call it manipulation, but let's be honest, every room has its game. You either control perception or get controlled by it.
And controlling perception means you decide how others see you. If you enter as a threat, they build walls. But if you enter as a student, a helper, a harmless observer, they open the gates.
And once those gates are open, you're already inside. And from the inside, influence is exponential, because now you're not fighting for space, you're designing the room.
But it only works if you have the discipline to stay quiet when your ego wants to be loud, to let someone else feel superior, knowing that their pride is building your advantage.
So here's the challenge. In your next conversation, resist the urge to prove yourself. Instead, observe. Ask. Let the other person feel like the expert, and watch how much they reveal.
And when they do, don't react. Just take note, because knowledge is currency. And in the power game, overconfidence is the greatest leak of all.
People underestimate you because they need to feel superior. Give them that feeling and take everything else in return.
That's the essence of Law 21. Play the fool to own the board.
Next week, we go deeper into silence and shadows with Law 22. Use the surrender tactic. Transform weakness into power. Because sometimes stepping back is the strongest move of all.
Until then, let them talk. Let them teach. Let them shine.
While you position, observe, and plan your next quiet move.
Power isn't loud. Power is patient.